These are the best tablets that aren't Windows based out on the market: the Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra and the M1 iPad Pro. Both are fantastic in their own way, but most people can only buy one. So which one should you get? Well, that depends on a lot of things, but I'll do whatever tasks I can to help you decide, and this should help students, artists, video editors, and just the everyday user as well. So let's dive right in. So both of these are firstly going to be built very similarly. They're comprised of a unibody aluminum shell with glass around the front for the display. And as you can see, the Tab S8 Ultra is much larger than the iPad Pro and has the magnetic attachment for the stylus around the back instead, which is included in the package, by the way. For the iPad, it's got the magnetic attachment for the pencil around the side instead, but that pencil will cost you an additional $100. These both feature pretty much the same setup of buttons with the single USB-C port right around the bottom. Now this port is very important because on the iPad it's not just a USB-C port, but it's Thunderbolt 3 as well, so it features crazy good speed and supports more displays and things like that. The Tab S8 Ultra has a regular USB-C port that still supports another display and other functionality, so when it comes to the build itself, these are very similar, even in terms of overall quality. They feel pretty strong in hand and the aluminum feels pretty great here. The Tab S8 feels a little bit stronger than the iPad, and that's going to be pretty much it for the build portion. So let's move on to the display. So both of these have really beautiful displays that are almost perfect for whatever you're doing on your tablet, but they both serve different purposes overall. The iPad Pro features a 12.9-inch 2734 by 2048 mini LED display running at 120 Hz, and the Tab S8 features a 14.6-inch 2960 by 1848 Super AMOLED display running at 120 Hz. So looking at both displays, I can tell that they're both very gorgeous in just about every way. The iPad boasts natural colors with very sharp imagery that's both great for creative work and for entertainment as well of any kind. But the AMOLED screen on the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra is an absolute treat with how deep the blacks are and the colors are so rich. This is definitely ideal for entertainment, and it's apparent by how the colors have been tweaked to give us this result. Also, that giant size allows for plenty of multitasking. It's lovely. When it comes to speakers, these both feature 4 sets of speakers that fire from the top and bottom for a stereo effect. Now have a listen and see for yourself which one sounds better at max volume. Retro Pocket 2 a few months ago and decided not to review it because I did not want to go through the troublesome process of actually navigating the Android UI here without a touchscreen. And now let's get into the age-long discussion that is iPad OS, or iOS basically, and Android OS, with Samsung's own skin. So which one is better? Well, I've always preferred Android as I use the Google Pixel 6 as my main phone because of the customization, being able to sideload applications, and even more. The note-taking experience is more solid here too, with the S Pen features without a doubt, and everything that you would need like folders, files, greater access to your device, and even developer settings are a great help here. I've always loved Android, but here's the thing. The iPad Pro does have the Files app, sure, which isn't really that much, but it is a step in the right direction. And it does also have some neat ways of taking notes, but it's just not the same. While the iPad is starting to catch up to Android, they still have a long way to go when it comes to their OS, in my opinion. And that's just my opinion, of course. But iPad OS is still great with a lot of fantastic features that I enjoy. However, the mouse support kind of sucks since you're dealing with a giant circle for a cursor, and it can only get larger through the settings. Overall, you just need to pick your poison, but it's in the productivity apps that the iPad truly shines. When it comes to drawing, the experience will vary by two specific categories, the pencil and the apps. I use Sketchbook since this app is available on both products, and I have to say that I really enjoyed drawing with both of these. For instance, the iPad has a very well-sized pencil that offers a lot of precision. This is a very good one, as it also recognizes tilts for shading and that kind of thing, and it just really comes in handy. It feels very natural when you use it, like you're using an actual pencil. So pressure sensitivity is pretty solid here too. Now, when it comes to the Tab S8 Ultra, I will say that I wish I had a larger pencil, but everything else about it is very similar to the Apple Pencil. I loved the experience of drawing here too, as I'm able to make simple sketches or very complex drawings if I want to. However, what truly separates the two is going to be the apps available for drawing and animation. You see, besides Sketchbook and Clip Studio, you don't have too many options for creating artwork for animations on the Tab S8 Ultra. However, on the iPad Pro, you get apps like Procreate, which allows me to create animations and drawings seamlessly. I absolutely love using this app on the iPad, and this is a big deal, because the best apps are going to be best suited for productivity are mostly only available on iPad OS. So when it comes to video editors, the answer should also be kind of obvious here, but the Tab S8 has some apps available for video editing, but most of them are pretty junky. But the iPad Pro has LumaFusion, which is almost a full-fledged video editor. This is another fantastic tool for editing since you get color correction, a bunch of layers to work with. It's $30 and you own it forever, and the interface reminds me a lot of my main editor on PC, which is DaVinci Resolve. So again, because of the apps, you're just better off getting the iPad Pro for video editing. You can still edit on the Galaxy Tab S8, but it's far from ideal from the options available in the apps or in the app, and that's what's really holding this tablet back. It's so powerful, but it can't really take advantage of that power. Now, the gaming test is going to be pretty even, I want to say, since mobile games are pretty easy to run. But if you wanted to play Genshin Impact on either one, for example, you will get better performance from the iPad. The M1 chip is more powerful, but the display on the Tab S8 makes for a much more pleasant gaming experience. This even includes the aspect ratio, as you just have a lot more space to play with. But do you know what else the Tab S8 Ultra can do? Emulation. It can emulate PS2 at 2x resolution beautifully, and this is only one system of many others that the Tab S8 Ultra can run. It's a really powerful device. This is something that the iPad can't do, at least not very easily. So when it comes to the battery life, both of these are going to be champions, quite frankly, but the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra was more energy efficient to me, even on standby power, so both will easily last you more than 10 hours, but I'd wager that the Tab S8 Ultra will last you longer throughout your day. But I'd say that you can safely leave your charger at home regardless of which one you end up getting. So in conclusion, there was a lot to consider for each device, but both will have their pros and their cons. If you're a student, then the iPad Pro just makes more sense because the keyboard attachment is also way more solid than it is on the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra, and the performance won't disappoint you. If you're an artist, I have to recommend the iPad Pro because of the accessibility to apps like Procreate, but Clip Studio is still great and available on both platforms, so keep that in mind, though it also helps that the iPad Pro has a more natural color set for the display. That's the same reason why I think video editors should get it, but LumaFusion is also just too good to ignore. I haven't seen any mobile solutions like it at all. If you're a gamer, though, then the Tab S8 Ultra should be your number one choice since you get more streaming apps like Stadia and GeForce Now. You get access to a bunch of Android-exclusive apps and games, and you get to emulate tons of different systems. It's a really good value for gamers. Also, thanks to that beautiful display. So this is what I would value the most, or recommend, I should say, to people, and hopefully this video was helpful to you. And if you have any more questions, if I know the answer to them, I will try to answer them in the comment section, so please make sure to ask away in the comment section about either device. And also, I am going to be leaving affiliate links to Amazon to both of these, as well as any accessories that I recommend for them, such as the keyboard. In this case that I got for my Tab S8 Ultra over here. So if you end up using any of my links, it really helps out the channel a lot. So I would really appreciate that greatly. So thank you so much. And also, if you want to see me on other platforms, you can most certainly find me on Twitch streaming every Wednesday and Thursday. Now it is going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, but I'm usually on a little bit earlier. You can also find me on Instagram. But if you want to see the Tech Summit podcast that goes live every Friday, then please make sure to subscribe to that. And I have a vlogging channel too. I know that there's a lot of plugging, but I think it's important that you know about all these viewing options. But with that said, this has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Thank you for watching, and until next time, enjoy.